Welcome back. The summer more than halfway finished, but it's still important, of course, to stay safe on the roads. And joining me this morning is Peter with New Country Motor Care Group, and he's explaining the top 8 things you need to know before heading out on these last-minute road trips. Hi, Peter. How are you? Thanks for being here.
You're very welcome.
So first of all, let's talk about, the first thing you should do, maybe the week before you're heading out on a road trip.
Well, your car is going to talk to you. It's got a lot of lights on the dash nowadays.
Yes.
The most common thing to do is to ignore some of the small lights. If you see a light on there that says that maybe some maintenance is due, it's a good idea. Another thing you should do before you head out is make sure that obviously your windshield washer solvent is full. On rainy days like we have today, you want to make sure we have a clean windshield. Tire condition is actually pretty important. A lot of people think, geez, I just bought some tires a couple years ago and they may be good enough. Well, I was on the site yesterday. Consumer Reports was showing that if your tires are half worn, you're twice as likely to be hydroplaning when you hit a little water in the road. Your stopping distances are dramatically different if you have worn tires. So, good idea to think about getting those replaced early. I'm very conservative. I like to make things last as long as I can, but tires are not one of those areas.
Right. A half worn, I didn't realize it doubles your chances.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doubles your stopping distance as well, because the water tries to make its way underneath the tire, and if the grooves aren't deep enough, the tire lifts up off the road, and that's what makes people slip and slide.
Yeah, and that can be really scary.
Yep.
What about the new technology that we're seeing in cars? It can be obviously really helpful, but it can also kind of things that you need to be aware of, right?
Yeah, there's a balance between technology and common sense.
Right.
We've never had things like side assist and what they call radar that tells you when cars are coming by on your left and right. The problem with relying on it completely is these are all new, emerging, exciting technologies, but none of them will replace common sense of a good driver. For example, using your cell phone while you're driving. There's a lot of people that can manage a piece of hardware in their hand and a steering wheel. The problem is the person stopping in front of you doesn't know that you're on the phone. When they hit the brakes and you're looking at your phone, there's your accident waiting to happen. So, aside of the fact that as parents and grown-ups, we want to set a good example for our kids. Not texting while driving is big. Obviously, never getting into a car after, a party with a family, maybe having a beer or two.
Yes.
Setting that example for our kids and the people watching us, really, really important.
All that maintenance stuff too, checking the battery, besides the tires, anything else that we need to check on the car?
Yeah, we'll hit 2 or 3 other points quickly. First of all, the temperature in a car can go up 20 degrees every 10 minutes if the car is locked up, so make sure never any kids, never any dogs or pets in the car. We're always hearing about things like that. Making sure that there's no more people in the car than you have safety belts for, and that they're all buckled correctly.
Yes.
And then something really small that people don't realize, sometimes you pack your car really, really full and the back of the car is full of luggage, and you stomp on the brakes and the luggage goes pitching forward. So making sure that the things are secured, it's like the airlines say, please make sure you're secure before you get up and move around.
Of course, and our pets too, because that happens often with dogs because they're not built in it.
Yeah.
A
lot of common sense there, and a few positives on technology to help as well.
All right. Well, Peter, thank you so much. Great information
pleasure.
as always. And for more on the 8 tips, you can head to our website, WTNH.com. Just click on that Honor tab and pull it down to the Good Morning Connecticut Weekend section.